Hey, what up? It's Adam Smith from CommanderSmith, and it is Proxy time. This week, working on Triumph of the Horde. So we're continuing with the X-Men type of theme here, going along with the podcast as well. So I had quite a few different options for this. The two that I decided to kind of go with, and lately I've been doing a lot of picking two. So this one kind of fit a little bit. We're thinking of like a Horde, a bunch of things, and the Sentinels from X-Men was kind of one thought I had there. Probably the best one that I found was this one. There were some other ones that were just the quality wasn't as good. And I've used the X-Men team before, so now I kind of went with the villains because I'm thinking of like a Horde kind of bad a little bit. So we're using the villains as the second one. There were some other ones that were kind of cool. I wanted to show you this. So to go against the bad guys, let's go into my other screen. Let me show you over here. So this one, it's the exact same thing, but with the X-Men. But I kind of already did that back with Insurrection. Some other ones. This one I thought was really sweet. I got to keep dragging these over. This one looked really sweet, but it didn't really fit. I might use this for something else down the road. So there's the bad guys. This one was also pretty cool, but it didn't have like your signature villains. I mean, this is a rendition, I think, of Sabretooth is what this is. And they got Mystique here, Magneto. So it just didn't, you can see some of this is cut off here. So I wish we had more of that. And then I'm not even sure. I'd have to edit all this out. So I kind of decided against that. And then this was another one that I kind of looked. I liked how this one looked, really cartoony, comic book kind of like. So there's a couple of those that I want to use, but because I used those in Insurrection, I got away from that, and we were going to go with villains. So first things first, what we always do, let's start highlighting the main part of this card here. So this is the fourth. This week we did, actually the episode did just drop, if you haven't seen it yet, of the fifth thing. So next week will be Vampiric Tutor. Just give a little spoiler of what next week will be. I don't know even where to begin with what I'm going to use for a Vampiric Tutor. But that is what the next week is going to be. I've used Vampiric Tutor in the past with Yoda Vampiric Tutor, which pretty sweet. You can check that one out. I believe it is on the Proxy. If you do on Twitter, hashtag Proxy of the week, you'll be able to see that one. That one turned out really nice. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to use for the Vampiric Tutor. Do I want to connect the two? I don't think I want to. I want to keep these separate. So we're going to make this line a little more crisp. And we're going to get it right about there. Oh, I always forget. I think I'm clicking the one that's going to take it away. Yep. Shift. I always forget which one it is on that. And even though I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times. Okay, there we go. That's that. I go to the top here. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. The Sentinels will turn out, I think, pretty nice. And then using the villains as one is going to be actually really sweet for this. I've really enjoyed this doing X-Men Proxy series. So this may be a thing that continues here. Let's see. I'll hit that bottom line there. We'll probably fix this a little bit in towards the end after I move this over. We'll see how it turns out when I move it over. All right, making sure we don't have any highlight spots. Everything looks good there. Let's bring it on over to our first one. We'll do the villains first. Whew, that is small. That's what she said. Oh man, that is really teeny. All right, so I'm hoping sometimes you can run into an error where it's not an error, just if it's too small and you try to enlarge it. Right now it looks blurry. Once I hit the OK check mark, it'll look fine. So what we're going to do is get as much of this as we can so we can get as many villains in here. Because I believe this is their rendition of Mystique up here. I would like to have her in there and Sabretooth down here. So let's see how close we can get to those borders. Okay. I think that's about as close as I want to get for that. So let's see how it looks. Good. Whew. Came in nice and crisp. All right. So I have a few ideas. Magneto, I kind of wanted to have to come to the foreground of this one. I do want Mystique to kind of be in there. So we're going to, I think cutting off the bottom of this is totally fine. Let's get a little higher with Mystique there. And I believe, isn't that like, it's not Punisher. Is that what its name is? I don't know. I know my X-Men. I got Juggernaut there. I got Magneto there, Sabretooth. But I'm more of the cartoon instead of the comics. Now my nerdy comic book buddies and people from the Discord, you guys could probably name every single one of these guys. I don't know. Is that even Kingpin right there? Because isn't that, I mean, I know they're on the Marvel universe, but it just seems like a weird spot because I feel like that's Spider-Man stuff. So I don't know. All right. I think that's probably the proper placement. We'll have quite a bit of Mystique in there. And still it'll cut off probably right about down here. So we'll still have Sabretooth there on the side. So let's move to the cropping. Oh, let's see here. Go a little higher with that. Oh yeah, good. We keep Mystique there. Moving to the bottom. That's keeping most of that stuff in. So good. This is where I wanted it. Good. All right, let's zoom in a little bit. And first things first, what do I want to do here? Like I said, I wanted Magneto. That's going to take up most of the card there. Let's see through a little bit more. So we got Magneto, hand right there. It's kind of my thought for the placement of the CommanderSmith logo. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is do like a little, see how it's kind of twisting in there? I might try to use some distort techniques and twist it a little bit. You won't really be able to see it very well, but I think that'll look kind of cool, everything coming into there. So I think that's what I want. I want Magneto there. So we're going to have his cloak. It covers most of that. And then we kind of keep everybody else to the background. Is there anything I want to do with up here? I might use this flame right here and here as kind of my border. So we're going to cut from here over to there, and Mystique's whole face will be there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's kind of going to be you could tell she's in the background, but by doing this, it might bring it so she feels like she's actually coming to the foreground. So it'll give an opposite feel. Let's start with that to see how that. Whoops, not on the right one. You got to go to the background there. Let's see how that turns out, because I think it'll give a feel of reverse of what is actually happening. Oh, this is from me editing something earlier. Let's get out of the fuzziness. Actually, fuzzy might be fine. Like my technical terms of fuzziness. We're going to just do that. Okay, because the flames kind of have that. You don't have to be as crisp with that. We'll come to the other side. Got it. So just want to test it. I know what I already want to do. That could be the end of that. So we're going to see how this looks. So that's why you want to kind of look at it. That looks pretty sweet. That looks like his flames are shooting outwards. But what if we go like this? Okay, so see what I mean? Now we gave that feel of Mystique coming to the foreground. If it is a Mystique, I'm pretty, she's blue. That's why I'm saying Mystique, but it's a different rendition of her. Like it's I think, fan art of this. But now before this, you're looking at the image, she's back. She's obviously the furthest back, but by doing this, now it looks like she's towards the front. So I like that a lot more doing that. Okay. So that's the first part. Now we get to probably the more difficult of the whole thing. Let's see what we can get with Magneto. Let's bring this down a bit so I can see a lot better. Okay, so see, it didn't grab there. You could just go Alt. Oh, we're on that text box. Let's get back here. And I really just need to get where the box is there. So we're fine there. I want his hand. Come on, just grab everything purple. That's all I want you to do here. That'll work. That'll work. Yeah, and if you watched last week, sorry, it's an interesting thing how to get this to go live. So it's kind of giving you some background information on it. But when I'm trying to connect, oh, that's too much. I'm trying to connect my phone, and that's my camera because of I should give myself this. I have an iPhone 12.
Oh, good for you.
So the camera on that is just fantastic. And so that's what I'm using as everything for my recording and stuff. Well, setting up YouTube, when you're trying to do YouTube live, I have to go through OBS. And then when I have my camera connected, YouTube says, oh, your camera's being used by another program. I'm like, yeah, I know it's being used by another program. It's the program that you're running through. And so it won't even allow me to jump in there. So what I have to do is like shut down my phone, pull up YouTube, and get it to go through just like my computer camera. Then while that's open, go back to OBS, switch it to my phone. And in that process, what happened is don't do that. Get rid of this part down here. What happened at that point is it switched my mic to, it says my phone mic. So you got last week of my phone with all that stuff. This is not part of his cape there, so let's get rid of that. So I think that's all I want to do. Hand, legs, everything. Okay, let's get back to our stamping tool. And for the most part, people know it doesn't matter about covering the entire thing here because everybody, caught a little bit there. Let's back this up a little. Let's get rid of that just to make it easier. So it's here, you're pressing Alt and just clicking, and it takes back what you did there. So let me make sure all my lines. Okay, so I got a little bit there. Do it again. Maybe this lower part there. Good. That's fine. That's fine. Just following along, making sure everything's good there. All right, now let's go back to our back there. We can switch this to a solid instead of being fuzzy. And let's make this bigger. And get Magneto to the foreground. See, I could have done is gone through and drawn it out, which would have taken an extra probably 10 minutes. So if you're able to do this on something that's kind of difficult like this makes things go a lot quicker. Okay, I think I got most of it. Way to check that and bring this up. Got a little bit right there. A little bit up here. Somewhere up there. Okay. And there. All right. I think we're solid there. Oh, no. Missed his tummy. His tummy. Now, I might have to do some fixing. So what I'm going to come back and smooth out these lines. Let's deselect. Bring our stamping tool again. Let's get a little closer. Check out those abs. I wish. Man, if I had abs like that, that's all I'm going to say. I just would have abs like that. It's not what you're always shooting for, is always trying to work out. All right, let's get that right there. Trying to make sure that looks okay. Yeah, we get that little line there, black there. Kind of want down here a little bit too, so we'll get a little black line coming through there. There we go. Anywhere else that I want to bring back? I think right here. There we go. Let's get this line. There we go. Sorry if I make all the faces. It's like my Michael Jordan type thing where you stick your tongue out. I don't do that, but when I'm really having to concentrate, it's probably a big leaving my mouth open type thing. Let's see, get that. Smooth this out, get those lines. Now this is a time when you want to let go of the clicking of the mouse. Okay, so this got where I didn't want to get. Other thought though, actually, is adding a little bit here. This actually I would probably do anyways. So that's totally fine because we're going to bring more stuff to the foreground. We can still see it's a sorcery. I don't even know who this guy is, but he's a bad guy. And we're bringing him up front. Is that good, or did I get... Yeah, I got more stuff that I didn't want. Okay. There. Where does this end? Okay, because there's a... Oh, there, right there. So, actually, see all these coming up like this? I actually kind of want those to get that feel of pulling in there. Good, good, good. We can keep... Oh, looks like it ends right there. So we're going to keep that there. Let's just do that. The top part makes it clean there. I got an idea. That fuzzy tool, let's use it. And we're going to bring this down. I want that feel there of he is drawing stuff into his hand there. So we're going to just all the places that he has that. Just kind of clean. Nope, don't need to clean that up. That was fine there. Let's see any others right there. Oh, okay, that's fine. Actually, I don't like how that just abruptly ends. So we're going to get just a little bit there. Okay. I don't see any others. Let's zoom out and kind of look at what we got here. And that's a lot higher than I would normally have it for 71 is about where I want it. Down here a little bit. Nope, not the ear. Just a little bit there. I'll do a couple extra lines. Okay. All right. I think that looks cool. But I don't want him feeling like he's fitting in between. I would do that a lot of times, but I don't think I want to in this situation. So I think I might bring that also to the foreground. Just where his leg is. Yeah, let's see. Just looks like a sexy leg standing there. I don't know if I want his leg sitting in there. I might keep it where it was. Yeah, it's fine. Then he's coming through that. My last thought is getting this coming to the front. So this is really jumping out there. So let's... The other thing that solves is getting rid of that pretty much. The Phyrexian set symbol there, or new Phyrexia. And I'm keeping the fuzzy tool on because that's fine to have it not be a very super crisp line. We're going to do that. Okay. Good. All right. I like it. Was there any fixing I needed to do? Yes, right up there. I can see it. See this little line? You can see kind of like a little bit of color there. So we're going to do that. Jump there. Just bring it across. And deselect. All right. That is good. Now, logo. Let's get it. This is going to be interesting because I had an idea of where I wanted to go. I got to figure out what distorting tool I want to use here. All right. Copy. Paste. So his hand is going to be the source. We're going to twist it a little bit. Okay. Then let's have that highlighted. We are going to use filters and we want distort. let's see. I want, what do I want? Pinch, twirl. Let's see if I can see this. Oh, look at that twirl. I want to see it though. Where is it? Where is my dude? I want to see what it's doing to it. Why aren't you showing me? Maybe if I zoom in. Oh, there it is. Okay. Good thing I did that because this is like really twirl. Okay, let's see here. Oh, let's see. It's twisting around. Well, damn it. That's not what I want to do. I just want the logo to be twisting itself, not twisting around. I just want to see what this looks like. All right. Yeah, that is not what I want. All right. Come on, meow. Let's get it right here. This is what I want. I want you to be just started. Twirl, wave. Wave's going to do, I believe. Although that would be ripple. What is wave? No. I thought this was going to be super easy. Displace, glass, liquefy, ocean ripple. I might go back to pinch. Where's my... Where you at? Where you at? I can't even see where it's at. This blows. There you are. Stay in on you. See what's happening here. Yeah, you're just doing a sphere. I'm sure there's an easy way to do this, and people are probably that know better of this stuff. Self-taught here, just trying to. That's all you do is trial and error with all this stuff. So what this is doing is putting this like it's on a sphere, not spherizing that. So, or that's pinching, I should say. Is that actually could work, and I could use that tool. I wonder. That might work, actually. Pixelate, render, sketch, texturize, spherize was the other thing. It's really, I want that. I want it to spin. This is the one I want, but I want not it to be going around something. I want the actual image to twirl, which is why doesn't it just allow me to do that? Let me do it here. Edit layer style. No. Send to bank. No, that's layers. Let's see. We're on layer 2. Let's see if we got anything over here we can mess with. Invert, threshold. Oops. Take that back. I didn't mean to do it. Mulligan. Gradient map, invert. Now, I just don't think any of that stuff's going to do what I want it to do. It's really that filter. Gradient, invert. Neon. Plastic wrap. Some of these would be fun to mess with. Blur. Lens blur. Well, that didn't. It's on a different screen, so you guys aren't actually seeing it. It isn't really doing. That's not what I want. Okay, so I think. See, we have a little bit of distortion with it. So what I can do instead of making this whole image, we're going to take our stamp tool. We're going to bring this down to like 40. And we're going to bring in pieces. We're going to make this even smaller. So I kind of want it to feel like these pieces are coming in. So we'll bring a couple in here. Like so. Bring it coming in this way, from the top, and that way. Doesn't look like much is coming from there. Most of our stuff is coming from there, there, there. It just looks like I stamped it out. I don't think I like that. Control Z a lot here. Son of a bee. All right. A couple more there. Oh, wish that twirl would have worked. Because I could bring it into there. Is there anywhere else I want to place this? I think that's where I want it. So what I might just do is bring it way down. And maybe have his hands kind of having a couple streaks come here. So there isn't actually much streak-wise going into that area. Maybe right here a little bit. Maybe a little bit right over here. So we're just kind of eating away at it, the edges. And you really aren't going to notice it much because I'm going to probably keep it this low because I don't. When I started doing the logo in there, it was, I started doing it on the edge over where this was, but then I kind of was like, oh, just make it like a Where's Waldo where you can try to figure it out. And actually, my wife, she likes it because she's like, when I show her, she doesn't play Magic, so she doesn't really care. I'm like, but check out this thing. Whatever thing that she likes is trying to find where I hid the image. Sometimes it's really easy, but sometimes they make it a little more difficult. Okay, so that is the first Triumph of the Hordes. That one went a little long, but I think the next one's actually going to go quick. I love the way that turned out. Let's make sure our levels are all right. So we're at 70. I think 40 is good there. And it ate away at it. That's a pretty good Triumph of the Hordes. We brought that mystique to the foreground. It's kind of interesting by just doing that. It makes it switch from where she was before. So back to this. Copy. Paste it. And a smaller one. This one I kind of know where I'm going with this. I want all the sentinels in there. And that smoke I'm definitely going to use as part of it. I want the sentinel head to come through. So we're going to do a couple things. We'll do the smoke here kind of come through this, and we'll have his head, both their heads on this. So because then we're throwing this way to the background, at least the top part of that. Okay. Let's crop that up. Probably a little lower. Let's see. Had some green beans with Buffalo Wild Wings Asian zing sauce for dinner tonight. And it was mighty spicy, but man, it's getting me a little bit. I'm like, oh. All right. So there we go. That looks good. Let's bring this down. Yeah. So boom to the front, this little part to the front. And we'll make some smoke effects there. Foreground? Question mark? And leg in front, leg behind. That is the idea of this one. I think that'll be perfect. So let's start with what I was just saying at the bottom part here, because that I know will look pretty dang good. Again, if you first time you're seeing this video, normally I don't like to go over the text box with stuff. It's kind of funny that everything that we have been talking about, let's do this. Let's do a little more cheating with this. Make things easier. Everything we've talked about is instant or sorcery. So I'm fine with stuff like this text box being covered with alt art because it comes on, goes away. It's not like they have to continuously remind themselves what the card does. So I'm totally fine with cards for proxies that do that. Try to stay away from it as much as possible. But I'm fine with it here. And if I'm fine with it, you're fine with it. But yeah, so it as long as you can, if it's something that sits out on the field, I really don't like to try to decide if I want that ground to stay there. Yeah, if I want to have it be an alt art, because then it's, especially for newer players, they look and they're like, I don't know what that card does, and they just continuously look at it. Or even veteran players, they know what cards look like, and they have to keep looking at the card because it's like, wait, what is that card again? And that gets annoying. So that's when I stopped doing that. But I'm having a lot of fun doing this alt art stuff because it's kind of fun to research. There's a couple hours worth of research trying to figure out what stuff works the best, especially when you're trying to fit in something. You're not just going to grab an X-Men image and just throw it up here. You need to have kind of it to make sense. There's a lot of cool X-Men stuff out there, but I was trying to make it fit. I probably had at one point 20 images that I was trying to oh, that's not what I want. Yeah. 20 images that I was trying to decide between, and then kind of just broke it down in my head. I'm like, all right, what makes the most sense? I really wanted to use the X-Men with it, but again, what I concluded was that, hey, you already did this with Insurrection, so you can't do it again, because then it just looks like Insurrection, but now it's just you're putting the green card over it. And if you're trying to do these as like a set, it doesn't make any sense to have that be so similar. Right. Let's see. Trying to see over here. What part is this Sentinel and what part is the background one? That's there. Getting that bad boy there. Good. Zoom out. Get down by the foot there. Let's get this down a little bit more so I can see through. Okay, that's the ground. That's fine. I don't think I need to grab this piece of grass. That's fine there. Might do a little bit here. Okay. Then zoom out. Let's bring it up to what it's going to be just to kind of check it out. Yes, that's perfect. So it looks like he's stepping through. Then we also want him to be in front of that. So we're going to jump over to that. This is probably the one I would use when playing this card, because it, to me, makes the most sense, because it's like a horde. I mean, I can see that's why I went with the villains too, because I'm like, that's kind of like a horde in a way. And I hadn't done the villains. I did with Magneto last week, but Magneto's like kind of like a good bad guy, because he goes like back and forth. He likes the mutants. He just doesn't like humans, and he's trying to save mutants basically. So you have him flip flopping. So that's why he's kind of like a, what, I don't know, anti-hero in a way. No, the boys are anti-heroes. If you guys seeing that, too bad it's not. Well, it is. I think it is. Isn't it a comic book or something? I don't know. Now I'm starting to get into realms that I don't know, and I'm going to say things that I can't take back. So I'm just going to stop right there, because then I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. All right. Sentinel 1. Do I want Sentinel 2? If I'm going to bring the smoke to the front, I need to have Sentinel 2, because this is obviously in front of the smoke there. We could just have him be the main focus, have a basic one. Let's just see what it looks like when we do the smoke a little bit. We'll start with the smoke. Same smoke, really weird. Start with the smoke and see how it looks. And then if we like it, then we'll get the other Sentinel to the foreground. If we don't, I'm fine with it staying this way. So I brought this way down so that we can kind of really mess with this. So we want the whole thing with that 20%. 27%. Now I'm starting to click a lot. So we're going to get edges is my number one thing to blend in to get rid of, because then it really feels like it's coming through. So I'm like clicking a lot here. I could even move this up just a little bit. So try to get rid of these edges there. And you want it to be like smoke. So you don't want it to be even all the way across. But I am going to get, see, I've got there, that billowing smoke there. We got a line towards the top. So we're going to do this a couple times to try to get rid of that line. Not completely. I do want that to still see it, like it's still there. Oh man, that does look cool. And we're at the right. Yeah. I think we got to keep it like that. So I'm keeping this here. I think that looks good. But then we're going to bring this guy to the front. Because, I mean, look at it. I guess it does make it feel like the smoke is a little bit further forward, but it just doesn't make sense because everything's happening behind them. So we do need to bring him forward. Just wouldn't make sense at all. So let's get a solid tool here. We're going to have to get this a lot bigger. And I think it's small enough where I don't need to cheat. Funny, I cheat. It's a cheat. It's not cheat. It's just a simpler way of doing things. But when it's just a little thing like this, this is easy. Doesn't take long at all. Almost takes longer to highlight or just as much time. And I'd rather do this if it takes the same amount of time because I can get my lines where I want them. Whereas the highlighting, you're kind of stuck by the highlighting tool of where it brings it. Sometimes it picks up stuff that you don't want to do. And so then you got to fix it after you're done highlighting. So it's going to take about the same time. I'd rather do this, or even if this is just a little bit longer, but something like the Magneto or the last one, that one needed to be, yeah. Okay. So now we threw that title, Triumph of the Hordes, to the back, way back, gives you that feel. Now it's way back there behind all the explosions. This is a little bit further forward. So we're getting a bunch of different dimensions there. Let's fix this bottom line. So this is kind of bugging me a little bit. See there, that black line. I know it's not much, but it's enough to bug me. So I'm going to go to there, and I fixed it on the last one as well. We're still on that. So let's just go across. I'm going to fix a little bit more. This is our cleanup. A little bit up there. Oh, went too much. Hey, Paul G. You liked it better without the smoke? Sorry. I just saw that you had wrote that. Yeah, I don't know. I like the smoke coming through. You know what I could do after I'm done here is I can go backwards and save it as that as well. I should have saved it just to have the two to kind of look at it. Yeah, sorry, I just noticed, there wasn't anybody for a while there, so I'm just like, all right, doing my thing. All right, there we go. And it'll be easy to go backwards there. It'll probably be me hitting Control Z about 40 times, but that's all right. All right, so last couple things. I like to get rid of that there. What were you saying? The text on the top and the bottom, two different planes? Yeah. Yep. That's what I was saying is now I threw this way to the back and this one's more to the foreground. I get what you're saying. Like if you want to keep them on the same plane, that makes more sense to have just his head in front. So totally get that. But I'm fine with it going all the way to the back because then it's like, even though they are a part of each other, it's giving you that feel of, this thing's even further back than this or than the front text. Okay, so what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I was gonna do the stamp here. This is a stamp and move. This is stamp, and we're getting rid of that. Gotta go a little higher with that one. Okay, so that's good there. I'm trying not to do as much because if I'm going to save both images, which I will, because Paul, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna actually try to get that one, both of them saved. So we'll have 3 different versions of this, not 2. It's gonna be 3. All right. Hit the bullet hole is where I was gonna throw this. I'm gonna throw it on this guy down here. I was originally gonna throw it right here, but this one has kind of more of a perfect circle there. So get you in there. Zoom. Okay. Bring that down a little bit. And we still have, no, we have to stamp these guys a little bit. And come back to that layer. And we're bringing all of that. So it's like it's underneath. CommanderSmiths are underneath. Let's see if there's anything else there. Okay. Take it. Okay. That is Triumph of the Hordes. I'm going to save this really quick. Save as. Let's just throw it in the proxy time. So we're going to do Triumph 1. Just make sure I want to save it as both here. So I'll rename it later. Oh, that's my other, all the other images that I chose for that. Okay. So now here goes lots of Control Z's. Ready? Boom, 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 boom. Gonna see this just change its way back. All right, here we go. Smoke. All right, so that wasn't too bad. We're getting to the smoke right now. Freezing it up. No. Control Z, come on. Did I really do that many? Oh, you know what? I think you can only go back so far. So what I will do though, just for you, Paul, is after I'm done with this video, I will do a quick one because doing that bottom and his leg forward and his head is pretty fast. That's actually pretty easy to do there. I'll do that one and I'll save that one as well. So we'll have 3 different ones and then people can kind of vote on that. So that is Triumph of the Hordes. That is the Sentinel version. And that is the bad guys, the villains of X-Men version. I don't know. I think I'd still use the Sentinel one, but I really liked how this one turned out as well. I can see one thing I'm going to fix down here. So I'll do my cleanups later. I got to fix right there. See, this how picky I am with that stuff. All right. If you like this video, like and subscribe to it. You can check out all the other Proxy Time videos as well. Next week is going to be a little different. I won't be on. Sadly enough, my grandpa died, and we are flying down to see or go to the funeral stuff down to Florida this weekend. So I won't be back until after Proxy Time would be. So next week's will probably be Friday. I'm going to try to get it in. If I don't, it'll be the following week. But next week will be Vampiric Tutor, another X-Men proxy. So I'm Adam Smith. That was Proxy Time. We'll see you next week. Maybe. See ya. Bye. Sega.